My name is Miguel. Most of you know that already. For those of you who don't know me personally, hi. So I was curious about what was going on with the protests, and I wanted to check it out for myself. So my buddy Eddie and I went downtown. We were below by the Flatiron down through Soho. We explored that area yesterday. So we started working our way to the protest at about 6 o'clock. We worked our way from Alphabet City up into Soho. Sorry, that took me a minute. All of Soho was pretty much boarded up. You could see all the stores that had been broken into the night before had been boarded up, or they were in the process of boarding everything up as we walked through. And it was this weird, it's such a cliche to say, but it's like a calm before a storm. Best way to put it. What I quickly discovered was there were groups of people scattered around, eyeing some of the stores. It looked like they were getting ready for the night. They definitely looked like they were looking to, to steal. We get to the Flatiron, and there people are protesting. And it was generally a pretty peaceful protest. There were cops on site, but nobody was being disrespectful to one another. Everyone was making their voice heard, from what I could tell. We quickly saw that what's happening is there's two factions. You have the protesters marching for Black Lives Matter, and then you have these outlying groups who are taking advantage of the situation. It looks like Cuomo is acknowledging that. He did mention in his speech today that these are two distinctive groups, and that one has every right to be out there, the other, they don't. As it got dark, that's when things started getting a little crazy in Soho. We came across a group, we followed them, and they were throwing trash around. They're creating barriers to keep the cops from following them easily.
So as they were walking through the streets, a couple people pulled out hammers and started bashing storefront windows. Some of these stores were guarded by either private security or the guardian angels also. The guardian angels were protecting Foot Locker. At some point, a few people did try to break into Foot Locker, but the guardian angels kept them away. Eventually, the crowd worked its way to the Louis Vuitton store, and they started going at it. They eventually were able to pull the plywood off the front, and they broke through the storefront window. It didn't look like there was much in the store at this point, though. I'm guessing at this point, a lot of store owners started moving their items out of the store. After the Louis Vuitton store, that's when the cops started getting more aggressive with this group of people, and they started chasing them. Nightclubs did start coming out, and they were basically pushing them up away from Soho towards Chinatown. Not sure what happened by the time they got to Chinatown. We didn't continue following this group. We ended up going back to the protesters. Okay, so at this point, it's about 11 o'clock. We're looking at 3 hours after curfew, and still seeing a lot of what I saw earlier. We see an exchange between protesters and cops, nothing violent, just everyone making their voice and frustrations heard across the city. At one point, one of the organizers addressed the protesters.
There's next week, there's next month, there's next year. This is not where this ends. So if you are mad that we are going home tonight, if you're mad I'm calling it quits, understand that the chief of police told me that we have less than 10 minutes to go home, or they're putting their full force on us. And listen, I don't want anybody here to get hurt.
So after that, a few people did leave. There were others who did want to stick around and keep protesting. And then about 15 or 20 cops on bicycles showed up. So we started walking away from them. And then we suddenly start hearing screaming. And the cops are basically riding towards the people to push them away, to disperse them. So we start running away from them. This is away from Astor Place. And as we're running, another group of cops pull around that corner. And, I mean, they pulled out with their nightsticks out. It looked like they were swinging. I thought I was going to get knocked. I don't know if I didn't see anyone physically get knocked with a nightstick. I did see somebody get pushed off to the side. Unfortunately, I don't have any of that footage. While that was all happening, I was kind of fumbling with my phone, trying to get the selfie mode on and avoiding nightsticks. So Yeah, that didn't play out.
So that's my take on what happened last night. I hope I was able to bring some nuances to what's happening out there. I understand that I've only experienced a small sample of what's going on a global scale. So please, if I missed the mark on something, leave a comment. Let me know. If you were out there last night, if you've been out there during the week, please leave a comment. Feel free to start a dialogue. For watching, I already hear helicopters for tonight's protest. I unfortunately can't be out there. I screwed my legs up on this one, so I'm gonna take today off. Be safe, everyone, especially those out protesting. Black Lives Matter.